Mr. Melvin Criswell, man, how are things going? What's today? I had to think about it for a minute, man. This Thursday afternoon, man.
Yes, everything is going well. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Man, your life has changed a lot since 2019, man. Man, it's been fast.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, how have you taken all that in from Sunday's Best to now record, I think, three albums, man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, three albums. I literally, God is my focus. Jesus is my focus. And seeing, his people come to Christ. Is my goal. And so, I've always, since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be a part of this gospel industry and, to put out music of inspiration, of hope, and just really set people on a journey back to Christ. And, that's really what drives me every single day that I do this. So, yes, things move really fast. They have moved really fast. God has been elevating me in places that I would not have even imagined, nor did I feel that I deserved. But I'm grateful that He trusts me enough to handle all that He's given me so far.
Well, both of your parents were in the gospel music ministry, man.
Yes, sir.
What did you learn from them, man, and all this?
Yes, of course, they were heavily influenced in the gospel industry. And, my dad being the musician and the writer that he was, and my mom, being a psalmist, there were, things I learned musically that came from just me being around and just existing as a kid in their world, and traveling with them, getting to go different places and to see them just operate in their gifts. That's really, I got to learn so much about music that way. But they really taught me, the more spiritual side of things and how to serve people and just be a servant. That's really the foundation that I have. Watching them, take what the last that they had, to take care of people, to go places to minister to people, even when it wasn't feasible for them. And those, remaining humble and kind to everyone you meet, those are the true keys to success. And those are some of the major lessons that I've learned from them.
Man, can you talk about your faith a little bit, man? Because
Absolutely.
it's a lot of courage, man, to get up on stage. Let's go back 2019 to get now.
Yes.
You are at today. It takes a lot of courage to do that, man. Where does that come from?
Yes, like I said, Jesus is my focus. And, there were a lot of times, especially on Sunday best, I didn't feel qualified. I didn't think I was good enough
Mm.
to even make it into this gospel industry. And, God literally showed me that I am enough. He's placed inside of me everything I need to please Him and to serve His people. And so every day I use that to the best of my ability. I still get nervous every time I grace the stage. My nerves are all over the place. But there comes a point where I remember why I'm here. I remember what I'm assigned to, and I remember the job that I have to do. And the job is mainly to see people come back to Christ, to have them leave not the same way they came in. And when you allow that to drive you, when you allow Jesus to be the focus, it makes everything else easier. So that's really a part of what my faith plays in this whole thing.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
for four Stellar Awards in July, man.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about that?
It's unexplainable. I've used to always see the Stellar Awards. I've been a couple of times, always seen it on TV, and it was like one day, I want to be able to make it to that space, not just, just to see what God is gonna do. And so the fact when I got the call that I got four nominations at once, my mind was completely blown.
Wow.
Like I mentioned to you already, there were a lot of times where I felt unqualified and not good enough,
Mm.
that I wasn't enough to just do this. And so the fact that, I was able to be recognized for my hard work that I've done so far in a short amount of time, just it means the world to me, and I'm beyond honored.
Yeah, you just came off of two Grammy nominations at that.
Yes, sir.
man. Was that feeling the same thing,
The
man?
same thing, and it's even more of the same because the Stellars is of course confined to gospel music, but the
Yeah,
Grammys takes that a step further, and it's access to the whole entire world. The even the gospel industry also, but the secular industry, the R&B, the hip hop, and so to be honored amongst them, amongst those legends, the word says, he'll put your name before great men, and he's done he's done so many miraculous things through me, and I'm grateful to him that he allows himself to be seen through me in people who wouldn't normally see him on a regular day, and I'm grateful for that.
yeah. I was with Travis Green earlier this morning, in fact, and I asked him this question: what is your rhythm like, man, when it comes to getting ready to go into the studios, getting ready to write? Like, what does that feel like for you, man?
um well, Travis is a professional among professionals, so I'm still, I
I
still have
don't
a
know.
lot to learn.
Not that far from it, man.
Thank you. But my process can be a little more scattered. I'm trying to change it, but I do work well under pressure.
Oh,
So I do take time to prepare though.
yeah.
You have to study to show yourself approved, and when I write, it's it comes in snippets, it comes in pieces and fragments, and it may be some time, a length of time before I can get back to it and say, okay, let me put this with this and try to see how that flows together. But when it comes to just everyday life, traveling, it can be really hectic sometimes. But I love traveling. I love going
Do
to new
you really?
places. I do. I
Wow.
love getting to worship with new groups of people because that's what this is all for. It's about getting out to people, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ to people. And so the more places I can go, the more people that God trusts me with. Whatever he trusts me with, I will take it on, no matter the difficulty, no matter how scared I am, because God has already proven himself to me to be everything that I need him to be. So.
Let's talk about your upcoming EP, as they call it, man. What does the audience have to look forward to in that?
Yes, the audience should be prepared to take a trip down memory lane. Even and what I'm excited about that trip is, there are different generations that can be tied to different trips on this journey.
Yeah.
So, like you have, the older generation and even the middle generation, like, when it comes to Mary Mary and, Ty Tribbett, that's even newer. Like, I really just want, people to see my heart in this EP. I really just wanted to pay tribute to artists that have really inspired me and helped cultivate who I am today. We didn't have to have a personal relationship. They may not have even known my name, but in some way, shape, or form, they have helped create who I am today. I was that kid who would stay up past his bedtime at 3 o'clock in the morning, listening to YouTube clips, studying music. And it really, even on the spiritual side, a lot of their music has helped me through some rough spaces. And so I just really want to give them their flowers while they're here. And I really pray people enjoy it.
Yeah, you really studied gospel music growing up, man. You're still
Yes,
relatively
sir.
young, obviously, but you really were all immersed in it, though. I mean,
Yes.
that kind of kid. It sounds like it,
Yes, I was.
man. What would you tell a younger version of yourself, looking back down the road? Like, what would you tell yourself?
Don't stress about so much.
Yeah,
Be confident in who God has created you to be. Remain who you are, humble, kind, and gracious, and go after God first before anything else.
mm,
And pay your tithes. I would say that.
yeah,
I would definitely say that to my younger self.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been through a lot. So
I don't know if
yeah.
this is sorry to cut you off. I don't know if this is like a
No, you didn't.
music month or not, but I was with CC Winans earlier in the month, man.
Mhm.
And I don't usually do this much gospel in 1 month, which is kind of weird now I look back on it. And she was talking about how this is fun, it is music, but it's also a business too.
Yeah.
So how do you decipher the two, man? What advice would you give to a younger version when it comes to that?
Yeah, well, like I said, business is very important.
Yeah.
Is very important that that comes. I wouldn't say first. Like I said just now, if you make Jesus the focus, if you make him your center, everything else will fall into a place. And I am a true witness of that. If you ask God that you don't necessarily know how to handle this type of business. I'm new to this. I don't know what this looks like for me. If you
Yeah.
ask God, I've seen him show me how to go about this, who to trust, who to talk to, who to put over your situations, your money, who to trust with your money, who to trust with your situation. There's so many aspects of it. But for me, it's only come from the relationship I have with God. He has literally placed divine connections in my life that if he had not done it, I could be in a different place that I wouldn't be in now.
Next last question, and I'm done, man.
No, you good.
Christmas, man. You did the Christmas album before, man. Is there a new one coming anytime soon? I was told to ask a question from a fellow admirer of yours.
Wow.
Any Christmas music, man?
Well, yes. So the first Noel it was so amazing to record. I was absolutely honored to be a part of that. I want to do a Christmas record, so I would say that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas. Even some memories. My family was heavy on Christmas, and we involved music in that season heavily. So there are some Christmas things to come. So I can't give too much, but yeah.
Man, the album that's coming down the road here, man, as you say, we're going to be on a journey of memories here, man. What did it do in you, man, in the recording process? What did you get out of it personally?
Um, you know, that's a great question. I really in those two, I grew a lot in recording this EP.
Oh,
Even from recording No Failure, which was really technically recent,
yeah.
to now it recording these songs, and them being covers, it really kind of took me back to that place mentally of that kid who used to study and so in preparing I really would listen to the songs and to the music, and I remembered how I used to study different inflections and study different just different feelings of
Yeah.
how they not only just the technique of singing, but the emotion, how they ministered to people, how they got people to engage into what they were singing about and to
Mm.
inquire about who they were singing about. And so I really wanted to embody that. I'm grateful one of the artists got to hear the song before it was released, and it blessed me so much. He said, "Thank you so much for this. Like, you stayed true to what it was."
Mm.
And I really that's the goal I wanted to do. I wanted to just recreate, put a little sprinkle of Melvin on there, but recreate, that effect that song had on people. And so that's really what I got out of it, being able to not only increase on technique, but being able to be a better minister to people.
Well, you're clearly all in, man.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I mean, it's kind of just your life's such a reminder of the things that we do and dream and think about, that God will make room for our gifts and allow us to actually do them from time to time. And you're doing
Thank
it
you.
well. I wish you well on the 4 Stellar Awards, man. I mean, I know
Thank
it's
you.
gonna be a big night down there.
Yes, sir.
They need to bring it back here to Atlanta though. But I know it's gonna be a good deal. I wish you well, man. This was fun. And I look
Yes, sir.
in you when you not only won the Stellars, but when you win the next Grammy too as well, man. So
Yes, sir.
you're
Thank you
going
so much.
you're
It was an
going
honor.
far. I wish you well, man. Thank you for your time, man.
Yes,
Seriously,
sir. Thank you for having
my
me.
man. Thank you so much.
All righty.
Good afternoon. Bye bye.
All right.